everyone. It's good to be here. Thank you for coming. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about what this channel is going to be, to give people a sense of what to expect, what to find here. So as you can probably see, the title of the channel is Developing Kindness. Really what I want to do here is explore a kind of meditation that I've found has been very helpful for me. And I think developing kindness really strikes me as a phrase that describes what exactly it is that I'm doing in these meditations. So in this channel, essentially, I want to just be exploring my own meditations and describing what they are, hopefully guiding people to be able to understand and accomplish the same thing that I'm doing in my meditation, but also hopefully just encouraging people to explore for themselves the skills that they have and the opportunities that are available to them in their own mind through their own use of meditation. I think everybody's naturally going to be a little bit different, and one of the things that's so wonderful for me about this meditation is the way that it allows me to explore. And I'm always free to take it where I want to go. There's always, different things can come up, and this particular meditation is very flexible. I'm going to have a video that's going to be a kind of in-depth introduction to what exactly this meditation is. I will briefly describe it in a moment, but I'm not going to go into a ton of detail, just because I think the video that I'll do that's an in-depth introduction will do it more justice. But for now, my point is just to say that it's an exploration for me, this meditation, and it's going to be one kind of exploration. I'll naturally go in certain directions. You may find that as you do this meditation, it takes you in a completely different direction, and it's probably, if that's where it naturally takes you, as long as it's within the bounds of kind of what's healthy for you and what's appropriate for you, which if you're paying close attention and you're practicing discernment, I think you will be the best judge of. But as long as that's the case, then I think that's really the work that's appropriate for you, and that's going to yield you the best results. I would imagine. I'm only guessing. I'm no expert. But so I just want to make sure to encourage everyone to not kind of take my word or my explorations here as somehow final or canon. It's just my explorations. They could be helpful or unhelpful. They might come at a useful time for you or not, or they may be totally useless, and that's totally fine. I just hope that everybody can hopefully pick up on what I'm doing and maybe use a little bit of that in their own process. So again, getting to the specifics of what the channel is, Developing Kind Intentions. For me, I've found that this meditation really helps me focus on kind intentions in a way that helps me connect with them deeply and even to act on them. I think it's a very practical kind of meditation. Specifically, what I tend to focus on as I do this this meditation, it revolves very much around the 4 Divine Abidings from Buddhist practice, which are sympathetic joy, compassion, goodwill, and equanimity. Again, I'm not going to go into a ton of detail about what those are. If you want to learn more about them, there's lots of resources out there. I could even put a link, to Buddhist suttas that discuss them. But that's the basis for my practice. And those mental states are what I'm attempting to cultivate as I engage in this practice. Another note that I'll make is that a lot of the videos that I tend to record are very long. There's a lot of reasons, I think, why that is. In many cases, I think I'm leaving time for the person who's listening to practice their own meditation and practice their own experiment a little bit, get steady, feel like they are confident in it before I start adding in more details. I also just think it's a very nuanced meditation. There's a lot of subtle shifts that the mind can make. It's also, I think, important to have time to really steep in the feeling, the intention, the impact that it has on other intentions, on your perception. I also just lose track of time. I think I tend to get really wrapped up in this meditation, and so it sort of consumes my attention. But in any case, I'm hoping that that'll be okay, that it won't be bothersome to listeners. I think it's probably perfectly appropriate to just pause a video and come back if it's too long. Maybe I'll record some shorter ones as well. I'm hoping that I'll do that as time goes on. I think particularly for the introductory videos, it's really important to have just a solid foundation of just what's going on in a meditation like this and what's possible with it. I really want to, I feel an obligation to really try to do my best to convey all the kind of the basic kind of sets of options that you have as you approach this meditation, which I think can often take some time. Part of why I want to do that is because I think that this meditation could be really great for beginners. I don't know if that's true. Again, I'm not an expert. I haven't been a teacher of meditation, or I haven't been trained in any particular lineage of Buddhism or meditation, but it felt very accessible to me as a beginner, and I've seen with time that it has it can be a very natural starting point. So my hope is that beginners will be able to take it, and given how active it is, how flexible a meditation it is, where on 2 different days you could do this kind of meditation but in a totally different way, depending on how you're feeling and what you need, where you're at in your life. I think it is really a gentle situation to have set up for you as you approach learning a new meditation. So, to specifically describe the kind of meditation that I'm talking about, I originally adapted this practice after I learned about a kind of meditation that comes from the Tibetan Buddhist practice called Tonglen. I'm hesitant to say that the meditation I'm doing is Tonglen because, again, I didn't learn it from a Tibetan lineage. I was never initiated in any tradition. I only learned it from reading, watching, listening online, and then taking that practice and using it in my own practice. And it may be the case that I've adapted it in ways that are different from the ways it was originally taught, or it may be the case that I do it exactly, as it's taught. I don't really know, so I hesitate to say that the practice I'm doing is called Tonglen. I certainly owe a debt of gratitude to that tradition, and I'm very thankful that I was able to connect with these practices that were kind of enshrined in those traditions. At this point, I'm just really saying that it is a meditation practice focused on developing kindness, which I adapted from the Tibetan practice of Tonglen as I understood it. So if you have any questions about what that means, I'm happy to try to do my best to answer or describe in more detail. On any of the meditations or videos that I post, I'm very open to receiving feedback of any kind. I'm really kind of exploring my own meditations and just putting it out there as a thing that I'm sharing. I may be able to accommodate requests or feedback. It might not really fit with my meditation practice. If not, again, that's okay. We can meditate differently and hopefully achieve success in our own ways. But I'm definitely interested in hearing meditation topics that my listeners would like to hear, ideas or connections that you have after listening to one of my videos, or even just a speaker, a sutra, a poem, a teaching from any tradition, secular, religious, because again, one of the things about this meditation for me is that you can really utilize it in connection with any perception or any thought world. You can decide to approach that thought world, that idea, that perception, a sensation, whatever it may be. You can decide to approach it from a kind perspective, from a perspective that utilizes these 4 divine abidings of goodwill, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. And I'm really looking forward to exploring in these videos all the myriad different ways of utilizing those, and just bringing some of those healthy emotional attitudes into my life. And I'm really interested in seeing how people respond and how what they're interested in and the connections that they make. Again, if there's any questions, comments, feedback, happy to do my best to respond. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm just exploring my own meditation practice and sharing it with others as I go on my journey. But always happy to talk and interact. I think that'll be very enjoyable if people are watching at all, which I don't even know if they're going to do yet. And if they are also, participating, I'm very happy to talk about these ideas together. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the channel. I just want to make a quick note that the Patreon page is now live, and the link is in the description below. If you are interested in seeing more of my work, I would be eternally grateful if you would consider becoming a patron on Patreon. Right now my sound engineering is being done by Beet Records, so subscribing would enable me to provide them with further compensation for the work they've already done, help me focus more of my energy on this meditation channel, and guarantee more high-quality meditation videos with soundscapes, music, and/or professional editing. Thank you for your time, and thank you for being a part of this community. Also, please consider liking and hitting the notification bell to subscribe, and please comment below with any meditation topics you would like to hear. Thank you, and enjoy.